Hello, this is Ivan from Loquiz, and today I'm going to make a comprehensive guide to the creator. So the creator is the tool that's used to create the most tailor-made game using Loquiz. And for this, we're going to base ourselves on one example. So let's see the free template, and we're going to try the demo adventure. I like the demo adventure because it's quite short, but it shows most of the features with Loquiz and many different blocks that will be useful for Loquiz. We have the logic here, the task here, and the map and the playground here. You can toggle to different view. So if you want to focus on the rules or on the task, the maps, or to have them all. Any Loquiz game is a construction of many tasks, and these tasks are used in the logic, and the logic will display task on the map, the playground, on the list. And my focus now will be on the different blocks. So what each block mean, and after, so you can skip at that time. After, we will see how that this translates into this whole logic for this game. Let's see the blocks. The blocks can be defined into three different three different categories. So first we have the tasks, and the task we have these. So these are the tasks. The tasks are blocks related to this task. Then we have the logic. So the logic are these. We're going to see them one by one. And finally, third are the actions. So each of the green blocks provide an action. So let's see them one by one. Let's see the different tasks. This block is about the task order. The fifth task in the order will be defined by this one. So as you can see, each task have an order, and this actually matter. All tasks. So no matter how many tasks you have, no matter the task that you will add afterwards, this will take it into account. Tasks from one number to another. So we can say that from task 1 to 5, all these tasks will apply on this logic. And then we have blocks for each task in the game. So these are the tasks, and this fits with the logic and the action task. We will see it later. So the logic works in a way that each logic block has to be attached with a when then, and I insist on that. Each logic block has to be attached on the when then, because the logic works in a way that when one thing is accomplished, so when this one task is finished, then we do an action. So we will see this more in detail after regarding the action, but you get the idea. So the first one is finished. So if we have this task finished, correct or incorrect, then we do the logic. Next one is the timer. The timer depends on the time when the game begins, and it begins when we press OK right after we added the team name. So you can put hours, minutes, etc. We have the scan QR. A scan QR, you can put anything inside. It will scan a QR code that means this. So a QR code, every QR code means one text. It can be a URL, or it can be anything, can be whatever. And how to make a QR code? You go there, and I recommend this one, this QR code generator, and we just paste the text that we done here, and it generates a QR code. So remember, QR code equal text, one specific text. And in your Loquiz game, if we scan the QR code that means this text, so this one, then this logic will be activated. However, it's important if you use this logic that you go to the configuration, design, and you need to tick enable code scanner. Otherwise, you won't have the code scanner that will allow you to scan this QR code. Then you have answer is correct. You can select incorrect, correct, or incorrect. Please note that these two are basically the same, correct or incorrect, finished. It's just that you can get more flexibility with this one. So the next one is slightly different. Actually, it's vastly different. So same, you have correct, incorrect, by any team. And what does it mean by any team? It means that within a game and a scope, if one task was answered in a way that this is fulfilled, so here incorrect, then it affects everyone else's games. So it means that one player action can affect others, and it's good for interactivity, but be careful, because if you have a game, then it will depend on what previous players has played, and to reset this you will need to clone the game. So yeah, I would recommend that you remain careful whenever you use this block. Last answer is. Last answer is depends on the task that you use. So let's take this one task, number 6 for example. Number 6, we can see that it's a multiple answer, and you can see that it automatically updates with the different answers. Just like this, just like that. And here we have a difference between last and any. So here it will just check the last answer from this task. And sometimes you can have a task where you can answer it several times in one game. It will just check the last. And any, it will just check if this task was already answered with this one specific answer, or this one specific answer. So let's say it was answered once with this in the past, then this will be considered as true, and so it will execute the action here. Next one is the odometer. Here we have the odometer after a certain distance in meter, after a specific task is finished. So when the task is finished, correct or incorrect, then when you walked a certain distance, then we activate the action that you put here. And in fact, we have something similar regarding time. So when the timer is superior or inferior 100 seconds after task is finished, then you can activate a logic. So this can be useful, for example, if you have a timer or a countdown after one task is finished, and for example there's something that's available only for 30 seconds after one task is finished. This can be useful for this case. Score. So this depends on the score that the game has, and you have a different, so inferior or equal, strictly inferior, etc., or equal, etc. This actually works with the odometer, and the difference between these two odometer is the fact that this will check the distance from the moment the game started, and similarly as this timer, it takes into account when the game started, when the team or the player press OK, right after they enter their team name. So we have here the date, so you can say inferior or superior to specific date, and date, but also time. And what does the T mean? The T means the time zone. So for example, I'm located in Tallinn. It's winter time, so T will be equal to 2. And how do you know your time zone? Then just go to Google, what is my time zone? And you will see right here, it's GMT in English. So here it's +2, and this is what will interest you, +2. So the +2 that is right here. these one are logical operator. So these are and, or, not. With this you can make a pretty advanced logic. For example, you can say when not scanned, when the QR code wasn't scanned yet, or you can say when a certain task was finished or another task was finished, and or, up to you. And with this you can make some specific logic in a game. I don't know, they have to collect 3 items, then something will happen, something positive or negative, up to you. And we have the on track. So this on track is in fact important if you have a lot of players. So let's duplicate it. The on track will depend on the highest on track within your game. For example, we have 3, and each team will be labeled as one of the on track. So if on track 3 is the maximum, then the first team will be on track 1, the second team will be on track 2, the third team will be on track 3. What about the fourth team? The fourth team will be on track 1, fifth will be on track 2, sixth will be on track 3, etc, etc. And this can be useful if you'd like to divide the 3 teams into different directions. For example, you can say that the first task that will appear will be in the north, then the second will be on southwest, and the third will be on southeast. And last but not least, the scan barcode. So the barcodes just work like the QR. It's a code that you put, but for this one, the barcode has a certain standard, and I recommend that you only use this for the barcode that are already existing, meaning the barcode that you will find on the packaging of, for example, your box of cookies or your box of chocolate. And it can be for games, for escape games, where you have an item with the barcode and you have to scan it with the scanner, which I show you how to enable if you go to configuration and design. Yes, this one. And the barcode will be like barcode box of chocolates, for example. So for example, this barcode works, and you have to just input these numbers. There are around 10, 11, it depends on the product. So you have to input these numbers, and then the Loquiz system will recognize this barcode once you scan with your device. Alright, so we saw the logic blocks, and now let's see the action blocks. The action blocks will fit here, or in a one then, but it also works if you leave it outside. If you leave it outside, it means that there is no condition, it will work anyway. Show on map, we put a task, and it will automatically ask you to select a location. So, by the way, this is how you add a task on the map. You will need to have at least one show on map with this related task. Then you have a show in list. The list is a list of tasks that you can open by tapping on it. And I recommend that you test this game to have a clear opinion on how does the list look like. And it's pretty convenient to have a clean view on all the lists. Show on playground. So you need to have at least one playground. You can add playground here. Once you have this, the block will show you this, so the playground name. And when you add a task on a given playground, automatically it will ask you to select position of the task on the playground, just like this. And so you can put button, just like this, on the picture. And this is how this works. You have the open for answering. So whatever task that's here, it will just open. And be careful with this. So So if you put a task with open for answering, you need to make sure that in the settings of the task, you don't have this keep until the end of the game, because then you would have an infinite loop where it will keep opening. So if you put any task with the open task, then it has to be one of these two. In the settings, keep or remove task, remove and answer correctly, incorrectly, or keep until answer correctly. We have the finish. So the finish, when this action takes place, you just stop the game. And this, I insist on this, it's very important that it has to be in a when then. Because if it's alone like this, outside of any when then block, then your game, from the very beginning, will just stop. And I already had cases where it seemed that the game didn't work and went straight to the finish, when in fact there was just this block lost somewhere that I had to just find. Actually, I will show you something that is cool, that allows you to find a lost task. So if you right click here, you can clean up blocks, and this will organize the blocks like this. And here we can see that the finish is just here. And that's, yeah, you can see the blocks that were initially hidden. And finally, we have the deactivate. Deactivate will just remove the task from the game, and just like that. So you have this, it will be removed indefinitely until the end of the game, until, yeah, just removed from the player's game. I recommend that you use this only for the map, list, or playground, but be careful that there is no other places where this and this are being used at the same time. So if somewhere you have open this task number 1 for answering, I recommend that you don't use the deactivate at all with the same task. You can use if it's used for show on map or list or playground, but yeah, do not use it if the task was used for open for answering, because again this can lead to some confusion from the logic. So we've seen the different tasks and all of the tasks for your Loquiz game in the creator, and now we're going to check the whole logic. But first I just want to clean this up, and I will erase. I'll just show you one thing that allows you to select many blocks very quickly. So if I attach this like this, and just take one when then, and I attach all of them like this, in 1 or 2 click, I can delete all this block very quickly. Okay, let's just delete the other blocks. Then we have the logic that was used for this game. Let's go through the logic one block after another. First, we have this action block. This action block is alone without any logic block, so it will operate whatever the case, so in the very beginning of the game. And here we open this task, which is like an introduction task. Just as a comment, the game doesn't change, the rule doesn't change wherever you put the blocks like this. It will change if you put them inside like this. So yeah, just be careful about this, but you can put these blocks wherever you want, attach them with this attach wherever you want. It doesn't change the rules of the game. So next we have this, if this task is finished, then we show these 3 tasks on the playground. So we have these 3 buttons, and when the player taps on them, something will happen. So this one is task number 2. When they tap on it, they have the list, because this is the media list test, and we have task number 5 and 6 on the list. And if they answer correctly, both of them, then we just deactivate this task number 2. And as you can see, I put something here to say that this is a success. And it's not a task, this is not a button. it's a way to optimize and to have less tasks. So it's part of the playground. Then we have task number 3, this one, the map test. When this task is finished, then we have 2 tasks on the map that will appear. These are these 2. And if I just remove the block here, then it disappears from the map. And if we answer both of them correctly, just like here, then we deactivate this task number 3 from the playground. And again, success. And then we have this one. So if the odometer is superior to 100 meter after the first task was answered, so this one, then we will open one task to say, congratulations, you walked 100 meter. And then we also deactivate this one to say that success, you succeeded in test 3. Finally, when score equals 5, meaning that all the tasks here were answered correctly and that we also walked, so we have 5 tasks, meaning that all the tasks were successful, then we open task number 10 saying that congratulations, you succeeded in the 3 tests. And when it's finished, then the Loquiz game is immediately finished. So, we've seen how the creator works and what each block is about, and a typical example of one Loquiz logic. And I hope that it will inspire you into creating games with Loquiz. And if you have any question, feel free to send me an email at this address. And I hope that you will have fun. Bye.